Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Learning with Dr. Guo. I'm your host William Guo. I'm now standing at the Amsterdam International Airport. Today I'll be traveling with the business class of China Southern Airlines from Amsterdam to a city in southern China called Guangzhou. During this trip in China, I'll be attending a lawyers' conference in a modern city in southern China called Shenzhen, which is very close to Hong Kong. I really look forward to this trip. When I was planning for this trip, I did a search on YouTube for video reviews of the business class of China Southern Airlines on this particular route, namely from Amsterdam to Guangzhou, but I haven't been able to find any. That's why I'm making this video now. So please come along and enjoy the flight with me. The total distance from Amsterdam to Guangzhou is more than 9,000 kilometers or 5,600 miles. The flight would take about 11 hours. During this video, I'll show you the check-in, the business class lounge, and the flight experience itself. At the end of this video, I'll also briefly talk about the price. There are timestamps for this video so that you can quickly switch the parts that you are most interested in if you would like to. One of the advantages of flying with business class is that you get priority check-in. There was a long queue at the economy check-in desks, but I was fortunate to be able to check in at these priority desks behind me. It took me only 3 minutes to complete the check-in procedure. It was very pleasant and very efficient. Now let's proceed to the lounge. China Southern Airlines does not have its own lounge in the Amsterdam airport. As a business class passenger of China Southern Airlines, I was able to use the KLM Crown Lounge. This lounge is quite spacious and comfortable. It has 2 floors. There are plenty of seats for business class passengers to relax or to work. If you are hungry, you can grab some food in the buffet restaurant. As I wasn't hungry, I didn't eat in the lounge. There are 2 bars where passengers can order various drinks. There are lockers in the lounge where you can store your hand luggage safely. I found this feature very useful. If you would like to, you can even take a shower or a nap in the lounge. As I had a lot of work to do, I found myself a quiet place in the lounge and was able to get quite some work done while waiting for boarding. All in all, although it's not a particularly luxurious lounge, I was still very happy to be able to use the facilities here and to get a lot of work done. About 45 minutes before departure, I left the lounge to board the airplane. The boarding was a breeze and didn't take long at all. The aircraft for this flight was an Airbus 350-900. The business class cabin of this aircraft has 28 seats in a 1-to-1 configuration. This means that every passenger has direct access to the aisle, which is very convenient. My seat was 5A, which is at the very front of the cabin. I really liked this seat because I had a nice window view and fairly good privacy. As soon as I got seated, the flight attendant brought me a hot towel, which was a nice touch. I was also offered various welcome drinks, but I requested only a bottle of water. The flight attendant then handed me a menu. From the flight attendant, I understood that 2 meals would be served during this flight. About 30 minutes after takeoff, dinner would be served, and about 2.5 hours before landing, breakfast would be served. Passengers were requested to make their choices for the main course of the dinner and the breakfast before departure, as this would help the cabin crew prepare the meals more efficiently. I've chosen beef for dinner and stir-fried rice noodles for breakfast. I'll tell you how these dishes tasted later in this video, but for now, let me first give you a seat tour. The seat is very comfortable and reasonably spacious. There's a reasonably large TV that can be turned towards you. Under the TV, there's a tray table. The tray table is fairly stable and doesn't wobble much. There's a universal power outlet that you can use to charge your laptop and other devices. There's an additional USB charging port as well. The headrest is height adjustable and offers fairly good support. As for storage, there's a storage cabin to the right of my seat. Next to this cabin, there's a small storage place for a pair of headphones that you can use during the flight. Down below, there's another small storage place. Next to the footrest, there's a storage area for slippers and shoes. The seat is in many ways adjustable and can be converted into a fully flat bed, which I'll show you later in this video. At about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the plane took off and left Amsterdam. Soon after takeoff, the cabin crew closed all the window shades and dimmed the cabin light. This was to help the passengers get used to the local time at the destination. Although it was only 2:30 in the afternoon in Amsterdam, it was already 8:30 in the evening at the destination. About 30 minutes after takeoff, the dinner service began. Unlike in the economy class, where all the food is served at once in one tray, dinner in the business class was served course by course. I was first given some mixed nuts. Then the flight attendant brought me some bread. I really liked the bread because it was warm and fresh. The first appetizer was the chicken skew. The meat was quite tender and the sauce was very nice too. I was happy that the chicken was not overly seasoned but still quite tasty. While I was enjoying the chicken skew, I was offered a choice between a cream asparagus soup and a chicken soup. As I wasn't very hungry, I decided to skip the soup. The next course was a tuna salad. The dish was presented beautifully on a white plate. The tuna slices were cooked on the outside, but the inside was still fresh and soft. I really liked the tuna cooked in this way because it preserved the original taste of the tuna while giving the outside layer of the tuna slices a nice fried texture. I also liked the vegetables served alongside the tuna. Especially the fresh seaweed went very well with the tuna. Then it was time for the main course, beef with mashed potatoes and honey nut squash. As you can see here, the main course was also beautifully presented. The beef was very tender and moist. The meat was not overcooked at all and tasted just right. The mashed potatoes were very creamy and had a nice aroma enhanced by various spices. The honey nut squash was cooked just right and had a nice sweet taste. All in all, I was very impressed by this well-made dish, especially given the fact that there is no actual kitchen in the airplane and everything needed to be prepared in advance, kept fresh all the time during transport, and then heated and assembled quickly in the small galley in the aircraft. After the main course, the flight attendant served fruits and chocolate. Again, they were beautifully presented and tasted very good. All in all, it was a tasty, well-balanced and very enjoyable meal. I was very happy with the service of the cabin crew too. The flight attendants were very friendly, helpful, and professional. After dinner, I briefly checked out the in-flight entertainment system. The TV is equipped with a very accurate and responsive touchscreen. I never needed to press heavily on the screen, so it was easy to operate the in-flight entertainment system using the touchscreen interface. As to the contents, there's a fairly good collection of films, TV series, and music. There are also some games and contents for children. The library does not appear to be as extensive as that of some of the Middle East carriers, but I don't expect passengers to easily get bored with this in-flight entertainment system. As a business traveler, I actually didn't have much time to enjoy the films or TV series. Instead, I started working soon after dinner. I found it quite pleasant to work in my seat. It was nice that there was no passenger sitting next to me, so I had a fairly private environment to do my work. And of course, I didn't need to worry about the battery of my laptop because there was a power outlet under the seat. One thing that I do wish to mention though is that there is no Wi-Fi connection on this flight. I was told by flight attendants that China Southern Airlines does not offer Wi-Fi service on this route. So if you plan to do some work during the flight on this route, it may be good to make sure that you have all the data that you need stored locally on your laptop. After working for a couple of hours, I got a bit tired, so I decided to get some sleep. The seat can be easily converted into a complete lay-flat bed. All you need to do is to press one button and the seat will do the rest automatically. China Southern Airlines does not provide a mattress, so the bed is a bit on the firm side. That's not a problem for me personally because I'm used to sleeping on a firm bed. Every business class passenger does get a duvet and a pillow. So in no time I got a quite comfortable bed to sleep in. There was plenty of room for my legs and feet. To put this into perspective, I'm 1.73 meters, which is about 5 feet 6 inches. I was able to lie comfortably with my legs completely stretched. Based on my experience, I would expect that you would also be able to lie comfortably even if you're much taller than I, say if you're about 1.85 meters or 6 feet. With such a comfortable bed, I didn't have trouble falling into sleep quickly and was able to get some solid sleep for a couple of hours.
A few hours later.
About 2.5 hours before landing, the cabin crew turned on the lights and started serving breakfast. The flight attendants set the table nicely and provided us with metal cutlery and a white linen napkin, just like during the previous dinner. Also, breakfast was served course by course. I was first offered a glass of water, followed by some cornflakes. After that, I was offered a croissant. The croissant was warm, crispy, and fresh. Then it was time for the main course. For the main course, I've chosen stir-fried rice noodles with beef and vegetables. Stir-fried rice noodles are one of my favorite dishes. What I got served during this flight certainly didn't disappoint me. After the main course, I got a plate of fruits. Just like during the previous dinner, the fruits were fresh and tasty. It was very pleasant to have a healthy breakfast before landing. By the time we were approaching Guangzhou, it was already bright morning. I had a very pleasant and relaxing flight. Obviously, the business class product of China Southern Airlines is not as luxurious as that of some of the Middle East carriers, such as Qatar Airways and Emirates. But still, as far as I can tell, China Southern Airlines business class does offer a fairly good experience. As to the price, My experience is that the price for a business class ticket with China Southern Airlines tends to fluctuate quite a lot depending on various factors, such as the season of the year, whether you book a one-way or a return trip, and the timing of your booking. But in general, and as far as I can tell, a business class ticket with China Southern Airlines is usually about 2.5 to 4 times as expensive as an economy class ticket. Of course, it's ultimately up to you to decide whether it's worthwhile to pay the extra money in exchange for the extra comfort, convenience, and additional services. Anyway, I hope this video has been informative and will help you in choosing the right carrier and the right class when you plan to fly from Amsterdam to Guangzhou. During my trip in China, I'm planning to make some more videos. For example, after attending the lawyers' conference in Shenzhen, I plan to visit Hong Kong and Macau. So please feel free to subscribe if you are interested. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.